Leon Gravewind came for Leon Carte's land, as if the result had already been decided. By the time Leon reached the frontier, the border had already shrunk inward. He had lost at least 500 square kilometers, and 6 locust cannon nests. Leon was still building towers and taking more. Leon introduced himself as a third-year student of Imperial Ascension Academy, and demanded 10,000 square kilometers. If Leon handed it over, and followed him, Leon said he would keep Leon alive, until the end of the crucible of life and death. Leon mocked the offer. Leon dropped the pretense, and declared war. Azure-eyed tiger bastions rose along the border. Leon's finished towers of the same quality could not beat them. So he changed the quality instead. He spent 10,000 energy, and built 100 locust cannon nests. Leon mocked him. Leon used sovereign assimilation. The 100 towers fused into a hero tower. Giant shadow locust bastion. 8,000 armor. 200 attack. 100 defense. And shadow bind. The moment it rose on the border, it covered several azure-eyed tiger bastions. Their normal attacks could not break its defense. Leon froze after checking it. Advancement should have needed a tower ascension stone. Yet Leon had forced 100 weak towers into a hero structure. Colossus shadow spikes hammered the enemy line. At that pace, an azure-eyed tiger bastion would break in 3 seconds. Leon ordered every tower to fire roaring tiger orb. The damage was real, but 8,000 armor was too much. In less than a minute, every enemy tower inside range collapsed. Leon reclaimed 1,200 square kilometers. Leon spent another 20,000 energy and fused 2 more giant shadow locust bastions at the new edge of his land. They pressed forward again. Leon could not stop them, so he tried threats instead. Leon rejected that too. Leon burned all remaining energy around his core. 74 azure-eyed tiger bastions. 2 extraordinary azure-eyed black tiger bastions. The cluster was packed tightly enough to punish a direct assault. Leon saw it and changed plans. He did not force the fight. He ringed the zone with low-level towers, and swallowed every other piece of Leon's territory instead. Leon had no energy left to resist. When the annexation ended, he had less than 600 square kilometers remaining. After that, Leon's territory reached 53,802 square kilometers. His energy gain rose to 53 per second. As his territory expanded, the Life faction kept trying to plunder him. Leon kept building towers, and won more than he lost. His land had connected with a Life faction representative, watched by Aurelia, the Life Sovereign. If Leon captured that territory, Nethros the Death Sovereign would look upon him differently. Leon turned and saw a different kind of white. Then a cavalry squad charged out of the White Radiance Zone. They were Sacred Radiance Knights. Up to 800 attack, 600 defense, Holy Lance Thrust, and Sacred Restoration. The Sacred Radiance Knights ignored the incoming shadow spikes, rushed a giant shadow locust bastion, and stabbed it down. Each thrust tore away 700 armor. In 12 hits, the 10,000 energy tower collapsed. Leon ordered the Aetherborn bastions to fire charged fireburst. The knights answered with Sacred Restoration, and kept riding in. So Leon began fusing away towers before they could be reached. Then the squad reached Leon Gravewind's shell. Leon watched a Life faction force crash into his fortress, and could do nothing. His azure-eyed tiger bastions could not hurt them. Only the 2 azure-eyed black tiger bastions dealt real damage. They barely killed 4 knights, before the rest tore the whole fortress apart. Leon lost every tower. His territory fell to 0. He was eliminated from the wager. At that exact moment, one of Leon's fused towers reached a new threshold. 2 choices appeared. Colossal Shadow Locust Bastion. Dark Locust Overlord Bastion. Leon chose the second. The new tower rose with 20,000 armor, 1,000 defense, 10 relic slots, and a 100-kilometer umbral dominion. Its attack was 0. Maddening discord could throw enemies in the field into confusion. Umbral erosion could strip away their defense without stopping. The umbral dominion spread. Confusion triggered again and again. The Sacred Radiance Knights began stabbing their own allies. Leon entered the trade network and bought relics. He skipped Lone Wolf Fang and bought out 50 Swiftstrike Panther Tails. After fusion, some reached 9. The rest reached 4. Then he loaded them into the Dark Locust Overlord Bastion. Its interval reduction passed 100%. The attack cycle stopped only at 1 second. To compensate, the tower gained Twin Strike. Its attack also rose to 100. Leon watched the numbers appear over the knights' heads. -1. -1. At 1 second per attack with Twin Strike. Layered on top, the tower struck 200 times per second. In 3 seconds, 600 defense was gone. Then the killing began. Each cycle now dealt 155 life. Across 1 second that became 15,500 damage. Even Sacred Restoration could not keep up. The entire squad died inside Leon's territory. Leon gained energy and 4 extraordinary relics: Sacred Light Silver Armor. Ilaria Dawnville was a disciple of the Radiant Church. Her core species was the Sacred Radiance Knight. Ilaria used a dual card on Leon. A barrier sealed both territories inside the dual expanse. Neither side could leave until one was defeated. Leon looked across and saw white land stretching beyond sight, at least 150,000 square kilometers. Then Ilaria walked to the border and introduced herself as a child of the Light Sovereign. She asked Leon to surrender. Leon refused. If he bowed now, he would disgrace himself, Imperial Ascension Academy, and Nethros, the Death Sovereign. Ilaria answered that her knights would flatten his territory. In the unnamed sovereign expanse Luminar, the Light Sovereign arrived before Aurelia, the Life Sovereign, and Nethros, the Death Sovereign. Luminar revealed that Ilaria had awakened the Lightborn Gifty. Aurelia believed that decided everything. Nethros disagreed and offered a wager. He bet on Leon. If Leon won, Aurelia and Luminar would each give him a strand of sovereign authority. If Leon lost, he would give each of them a strand of death authority. They accepted. Back in the dual expanse, Leon's Dark Locust Overlord Bastion held the center, but everything outside its umbral dominion was steadily taken by Ilaria. Her Sacred Radiance Knights stopped only at the edge of the black field. Then the Sacred Radiance Knights formed ranks and began to pray. Light gathered into them, and then flowed into the Sacred Radiance Knight bastions. Leon knew she was preparing something, so he acted first. He needed a tower with at least 600 attack, but the cost was too high, and his energy gain had fallen to 31 per second. So he returned to his old method. He bought relics cheap, fused them, sold them high, and piled up energy until he had 400,000. By then, Ilaria had revealed her purpose. Using gathered light and her Lightborn gift, she summoned a radiant Godidolz. The giant figure rose and pushed back the umbral dominion. Then the radiant Godidol began walking toward the Dark Locust Overlord Bastion. Where it passed, darkness was torn open and purified. The Sacred Radiance Knights followed behind it, without suffering any effect from the black field. He would spend everything on a Dragon Bastion. He could choose Storm Dragon Bastion or Black Dragon Bastion. After a brief hesitation, he chose Black Dragon Bastion. The tower devoured all 400,000 energy at once. It rose beside the Dark Locust Overlord Bastion, with 500,000 armor, 40,000 attack, 40,000 attack, 40,000 defense, 15 relic slots, Walk with Darkness, and Sky Tyrant. The moment it formed, the dread Black Dragon spread its wings and released a terrifying roar. The Sacred Radiance Knight host stalled for 1 second. Then the Black Dragon Bastion activated Walk with Darkness. It opened its jaws and inhaled the surrounding umbral dominion. Without waiting for Leon's command, the dragon unleashed umbral dragon breath. Darkness crashed into holy light. The idol shrank visibly under the corrosion. Ilaria answered by drawing every reserve of light from her Sacred Radiance Knight bastions into the radiant Godidolz. The struggle lasted 10 seconds. Then the Black Dragon Bastion entered cooldown. The radiant Godidol was still standing, but only half its original size remained. Ilaria declared victory too early. The dragon tore free of its base. Under Sky Tyrant, it flew straight at the radiant Godidol and entered close combat. The idol possessed overwhelming purification, but its melee strength was weak. The dragon ripped off one arm. Several exchanges later, the idol was left tattered and broken. Then the minute of cooldown ended. The dragon returned to its base and unleashed umbral dragon breath again. This time, the half-destroyed idol lasted only 3 seconds before the darkness consumed it completely. Once the radiant god idol vanished, the sacred radiance knights behind it were exposed. The dragon breath rolled through them with 40,000 damage. They were erased on the spot and fell into black ash. Ilaria was shocked and furious. In the unnamed sovereign expanse, Luminar was furious as well. He recognized the aura of Umbros, the dark sovereign on the black dragon bastion, and called it cheating. Nethros answered at once. If Ilaria could use the Lightborn gift to shape a radiant god idol, then another gifted child could receive guidance as well. The rules had never forbidden a sovereign from sensing an outstanding Dark Awakener and offering brief instruction. The Black Dragon Bastion had been recognized by darkness. Umbros had only answered that call,